good morning, good afternoon, good evening, any time of the day you're listening to me. My name is Shola, and I would be teaching us about Xenia and how you can use Xenia to improve your hotel business and management. Um, an intelligence scholar recently said if you're not using technology in your business, then you're not ready to scale. Technology is beyond just keeping record. It is also a tool to help you analyze into insight on what is happening into your business. It is also a tool that help you have a long-lasting business. Imagine a business where people come and go. You have a lot of staffs coming and going, resigning, and hospitality is one of the businesses where um, in terms of staffing, you change hands a lot. Not digitizing your hospitality business is one of the greatest downfall to that business. So quickly, I'll be teaching us about Xenia. Xenia is an hotel intelligence platform that helps you to manage the whole of your hotel operations, from the housekeeping to the front desk to kitchen to store to inventory to HR and the likes. Basically, the Xenia product is broken down into three different products. There is the um, front office side of things that contains all the applications which I will be showing you. There's the back office side of things, which basically is the manager's ends, things like reports, um, data you want to put them, records, and all that, right? It happens on the back office. Then we have what we call the Xenia Vision. So for some of the businesses, what Xenia Vision would do for you is it allows you to connect your CCTV camera on your pathway so that when somebody uses your rooms, it can easily help you flag that usage, right? Just like what any other technology would do for you. It basically uses a machine learning model to help you know when someone entered a room and when someone actually left. So, starting briefly with the applications, right? Um, the Xenia application contains the front desk application, the housekeeping, the kitchen, the F&B. We have what we call the retail, the facility, debt collection. We have the store. And for the front desk, basically what the front desk can do includes things like reservations, folio management, check-ins, city ledger, deposits, reviews, and reports basically. So with the reservations, you can manage your functions, you can manage your events, right? You can also manage like group bookings basically. With the Xenia platform, your customers don't always need to enter their details every time that they come around, because with this you can simply persist the detail of your customers, and by the next time they are checking in, it's just as simple as just checking them in from here, entering their phone number and checking them in, right? It could also be as simple as just searching their name. If you have any of their names, you can just search through it. The system will help you bring out their name, and they can proceed basically. So it has been designed in a way that it makes your operation simple. Also from here you have like a board view, we have a chart view, basically whichever you choose to use. So it's a very simple application that helps you to manage all those processes. And behind everything that is happening is already creating the transaction ledger for you to reconcile later. You have the reservations, you have the check-ins, like I said, you have the city ledger and the likes. So quickly, um, I'll be moving to the housekeeping part of things, where the housekeeping is able to do things like maintenance, do things like work orders. They are able to also understand what is happening in the front office and use it to reconcile their own activities. So that's basically a quick summary of what happens at the housekeeping level. Um, so I would quickly move to the kitchen. So in the kitchen, you are able to manage, every activity that comes with production. Like I always say, a restaurant or an hotel that does not manage his kitchen properly or digitize the kitchen is like someone putting fish on a fence with the expectation that rats would not come there. So the first things that you are expected to do is always ensure you digitize your kitchen. It's very important. You need to understand what the relationship between your expense in terms of kitchen is, and because it's always very difficult to organize the kitchen, so you have to digitize it. You need to understand portion control, costing, and all those things, and that is what XENIA will do for you. It will help you manage all these processes just in one platform. You have the order management, you have the production management, you have the menu management. So you also have the transferring of items from locations to locations. So basically, that's like a summary of how all those would work. You also have like the point of sale at the F&B, where you can basically sell items using the table, the rooms, or quick sales, right? So I'll quickly use like a table to open something here, right? So you can see here you can basically sell an item, add to tab, settle the item, print your receipt, and also if you observe about our payment channels, we ensure that we don't just say cash or transfer. We break down all the payments, because at the end of the day, we have an accounting software that needs all these things needs to integrate into. And by the time they integrate into it, you can understand it from the perspective of accounting, where your money is per time. So that's like the F&B side of things. Basically, you can sell items, and also you can send them to the kitchen if they are cookable items. The kitchen can also do productions when they can start a production. This is a test dish, for instance. You can start a production and declare it that you did. Was the chef life? Declare the output. I got 40 from this. Then you can transfer to outlets. Transfer to for extras. It means it's things like complimentary. As you can see, complimentary dinner. One person is due for that. So this is basically what the system looks like. And what this would do for you is, at the end of the day, you are able to tell every item that was cooked in the kitchen and how they were sold, right? How did they leave the kitchen? How did they come into the kitchen through production? How did they leave the kitchen? Was it through sale? Was it through events? Was it through extras? Was it through spoilage? You need to understand all those data dynamics. Then we have quickly I'll be taking us through the debt collection. This is where you are able to manage all the debts, especially POS debts. POS debts are debt that are owed by people that are not guests of the hotel, meaning that these are people who are most likely using your outlets not as guests but as just customers, who has access to the facility. Then we have the store. In the store, you are able to manage all the store items, basically all the stock items in the store. You're able to add new stocks. You can set up new stocks. You can transfer from outlets to outlets. You can manage purchases. You can also dispense, right? So those are some of you dispense through requisition, basically depending on how your hotel is set up. If you want it to be that, there must be a requisition ID before something is acquired, right, from the store. Then you go through the dispense route. So by the time we fully onboard you, right, you'll be able to understand it fully. So this is basically what the operational applications look like. Now, as I said, the application is broken into three phases. You have the operational applications, which is what are going to be in your terminal, in your front office, in all those departments, basically. Then we have the management side of things. This is where you see all the transactions. So for instance, if I come here and I make a transaction, this is once I set to this transaction, this is transfer, and I paid this, I complete my sale, I can print my receipt. With this, you're able to see the transaction just came in, which is the 37,300 basically. So you are able to follow the transactions real time. Then you have the front desk where you are able to see all front desk operations. You're able to understand the customer dynamics, the RevPAR, the AVR, the ADR. You are able to understand all those data dynamics. You have reservations, you have booking charts, you have stays, you have room status, you have events and venue, room type setup. So this is basically like front desk operation. We have the housekeeping operations also. We have the point of sale. This is where you see all the overviews, the sessions, the tables. This is where you see everything from. Then we have the kitchen also. This is where you are also, like you can see, this was the 40 portions that I produced the other time. You can always see all this data anytime, any day, custom search. Maybe you want to see for the last 1 year, you can always see this. Productions, you can see all these, you can see transfers. Then we have facilities. Basically, if you have swimming pool and the like, this is what you use to manage them. Then we have store and inventory. Store and inventory is a very vital part of your business because this is basically where you'll be uploading all your inventories from. Everything you have as inventory in the business, this is where you are going to upload them from. So you also have the master inventory. Master inventory basically helps you to understand where all your inventories are. So with the system, you are able to set up what we call an outlet. You have a pool bar, you have a pool bar, you have a restaurant and the likes. Those are all outlets. You want to know what the stock count is in the organization. Then you need to know what it is in every of the outlets, including the central store. Not just the central store, right? We have the stock location, we have the transfers, we have the inventory health, we have the batches and expiry, we have the stock counts, we have the requisition, and we have approvals. Then we also have the cost control side of things. Like I always say, when you don't measure your cost, then there is no reason why you're doing business, because your cost should be the first pointer to helping you change strategy, right? Now, cost control is an intelligence center where it's able to marry what you spend with what you're making. Basically, for cost control, we use it majorly for the food item, right? Because we also have what we call the expense analysis. But for the food items, you want to know what it costs you to make a plate of rice. You want to know what it costs you to make a plate of beans, right? So this is where cost control comes in. It also helps you to say, oh, you're wasting money on this is selling, this is not selling, just to move on from this and the like. So it gives you like a breakdown of that information. We have the menu engineering. This is where you can see all the menus from. We have the action center. Now, so for action center, what it basically does is when the price of an item changes, right? Action center basically quickly informs you that this price had changed. So for instance, I have this item in the central store, let's say basmati, and kg, supplier and vendor. So I have this item in the store, and I have to stock in, let's see, test supplier. I have to stock in 10, and I paid 30,000 for this 10. So I stocked in 10 for this, and I need to transfer this to, let's say, let me just use the store here. Store. So this is the basmati rice. So I can just transfer this to a department. So I'll do kitchen basmati. So I can see that there's an incoming transfer here, one stock review item. So I have to accept this before it can come in as my stock. If I come to kitchen stock here, I'm going to see basmati. So what I was trying to show was, so it's now 9 here. Master inventory should now be showing. You can see master inventory is saying there's 9 in central store and there's 1 in the kitchen. So that's the idea of the master inventory. Now, by the time we come to cost control, the first thing we need to do is come to this recipe builder. There are no recipe item here, so I'll just quickly go to POS, F&B, and create a menu. Let me just do dishes, and I can quickly come under menu and add an item and say Mexican rice. This is under continental dishes. The sale of this is 1,000 naira per portion, and when I'm setting this up, I say this is a recipe, and I'll do it a la carte because it's on request, right? I could also choose to do it on batch, or maybe I should just do it on batch. Prepared by the kitchen. Then I had this as menu. So typically under cost control, I come to cost control and I say menu engineering, let me just use recipe builder. Now I can see Mexican rice here. All I just need to do is to add ingredient from store, which is basmati rice, right? We use, for 1 plate, we use, let's say 0.00253 kg of, then just use 0.009 kg of this, and I save. Now, basically the system is able to tell me my cost per plate, my food cost, my margin, right? So it's able to give me this data. And the interesting thing of this is, if I come back here and I do a production of asun rice, I do a production of asun rice, and I say the shelf life of this is this, and I say I got 40 from this. Okay, let me say I got 2 from this. Not enough stock to produce. Okay. Okay. So basically it's telling me that I have not enough stock to produce this, basically. So once I do this, it's expected to deduct from what is here, basically. And if the batch finishes, I come to declare that this batch had finished, basically. So the system is able to learn what I used. So that's basically cost control. It helps you to understand what you're using and how you're making money, right? What your food profit margin is. It helps you to understand that also. Then we have the customer management, where you're able to see all your customers, as you can see from here. Also, it gives you like insight into the number of stays this person have made, or the individuals have made. You can always come back to your guest data and view their complete data. You want to do things like add credit limits, statements. You want to download their statements and all the likes, right? This is where you manage this. You have all guests, you have all customers, you have loyalty, you have wallets. So the idea of wallets basically is to ensure that when a customer, when you're owing a customer, you have somewhere to move the money. Because we will always tell you that don't let money be in a folio, right? Money should not be in a folio. Every folio that is opened is expected to be closed at the end of the guest stay, right? So those are one of the things that we always recommend. Then we have the loyalty overview where you can run a new loyalty. Loyalty basically is like you want to run a promo. Then we have the expense management. So in expense management, you can record expenses, you can manage your suppliers, you can pay your suppliers anytime you pay them. You can come back to add money to what they are owing you basically, or what you are owing them, right? Then you also have the settings, right? Settings for the expense. You can set up the account and GL also. Now we have finance. Finance is where you basically manage, sales, overviews of everything you sold, the current account position. Let me put it that way. So you want to know how much you have in debt, in receivables, in payables, liabilities. You want to understand all those costs, all those metrics, right? This is where you get them from. Yeah. So we can move to the accounting part of things. Now it's a full accounting suite, so it has the overview of your accounts. As you can see, right, this was the item we purchased, and it's already in the journal entry. It already has a journal entry, right? So what the system does is it ensures that you don't need long accounting durations to balance your books. It already has all the journal entries, everything you're spending. As you're doing them, you're putting them in the system. Everything you're doing, the system is keeping them. So like you can see with this was the item we sold. It moved from the bank to central shelf, right? Central shelf is the name of the outlet where it was being sold. Folio deposits, all the night audits that happened, you can see them here, basically. So the system helps you to somehow keep your accounting intact automatically. We have the chart of accounts. You can also come to create your own account if you need any other GL account for anything. You can come to create your own. There is journal entry, there is general ledger, there is trial balance, there's profit and loss, there's balance sheets, there's budget and forecast. So budget and forecast means you want to budget for the year on certain departments, and you want the system to alert you when you're shooting budget. So this is where you do all those from. Tax, close period. So close period, once you close that period, nothing can change in the accounts, right? So that's the idea of close period. Then we have general cashier. This is where general cashier will manage all the sessions for everybody. Then we have the sales, the irregularities, reconciliation. With reconciliation, you are able to, if you use our cloud version, on the local version, it doesn't work. But on our cloud version, you can upload your bank statement, right, to the application such that the application would go itself to balance the books, right? So it balance all your transactions, balance everything based on what is seen. So it's something that is doable if you're using our cloud version. Yeah. So we also have reports and audits. Now this system automatically generates a management report for you. You don't need to be running helter skelter, dragging, the heads of departments. You just come here, you spool out your management reports, and anytime you need a custom report, you can always reach out to the team. that you need a custom report. But this is a management report that we've been using for some of our clients, and it has been working basically. So we have the revenue reports, sale reports, and sales summary, and all those reports basically. Daily operations reports, daily business audit. As you can see, this is a daily business audit. This is what it looks like. You can download it in PDF, view, send it to someone, and view it basically. So this is what it looks like, right, when you're downloading. So this is a quick overrun of the people part of things, which I did not mention, has to do more with HR and payroll. You can also make use of this. Then if you're using our cloud version, this AI side of things work, but only on cloud version. The idea of AI is, if you want to ask questions about your data, your own data, it's able to give you every analytical part of the data. It's able to give you, so you can always ask questions. But this only works with our cloud. I'm currently on the local system, right? The one we installed locally. So basically, this is what our application looks like. Then it has the settings where you can create user, role permissions, department and teams, approval workflows, hospital listing. Then for the hospital list, for the hotel listing, it helps you to list your hotels on places like booking.com and the likes, if you want to manage that, right? Although it comes at an extra cost, and it's also required that you are using the cloud. So that's basically what it is, migrations. So this is like a quick summary of the two applications, the front office and the back office. Now we have what we call the vision, right? Now what this vision helps you to do is, imagine your cameras that are on your corridor. Imagine how smart they can be. You know, most of the time people don't turn back to cameras until an incident happens. But XENIA Vision is saying, why not I report it immediately they are happening, right? So with XENIA Vision, it's able to see someone and able to tell if they entered your room. And as I said, you can link this to your XENIA application, basically. So, yeah, Matthew, please, can you come in? So you can see someone coming in, close the door, and the application immediately marks that someone entered. You can go outside. And when he went out also, the application is able to tell you that he went out. Right? So basically that's what the XENIA Vision is all about. It helps you to know when someone entered and when they went out, right, of a particular. So you are able to mark several portions of the camera view where you want it to monitor, right? And it monitors those axes for you and give you reports on those axes, basically. So that's a quick summary of the XENIA Vision. So it comes with the XENIA suits, and it's actually it comes as a different pricing from the ERP itself. So that's just a quick overview. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We can always answer your questions. Thank you very much for listening.